All right, guys, Mike Troll, Amsoil dealer, 146-3115. Today we're working on this 2018 Honda Odyssey, and it does have 82,000 miles, and we're gonna be doing the ATF fluid change for the first time. Went a little bit over, but life gets busy, that's what happens. And so this does have the 9-speed ZF transmission. So you wanna make sure, because some of them have the 10-speed. And so this is the 9-speed ZF, and it does take very specific fluid. It's the Honda ATF 3.1. And so if you have the 10-speed, I think it's like Honda 2.0. But so anyway, yeah, you gotta shake well before using. I've never used a transmission fluid that wants you to shake it up first. So it must be some special stuff. Normally what we do on the channel is fluid changes with Amsoil. But in this case, we're gonna use the Honda stuff because Amsoil doesn't have a recommendation. Guys, if you wanna see more stuff on Hondas, I actually own 2. So go ahead and subscribe and give the video an early like. That helps grow the channel. Thanks a lot. We're gonna get the wheel off and get this going. So here's where we got our parts from. You can see we did get the 3.1 ATF. Pretty good price there. When this stuff first came out, it was real expensive, and so 3 drain plugs as well. A lot of people don't change those, but the owner wanted to go ahead and change those out. If you look, they have a little rubber silicone seal built into it, so they do recommend you change those plugs, and I'm expecting those to be an 8mm hex, so I got a socket ready to go for that. And here's a close-up of the fluid. So yeah, if Amsoil ever comes out with a compatible fluid, we'll definitely use that. Alright, so under the vehicle there's the drain plug. We did have to remove some plastic clips, some bolts. I think it was like 1 bolt, 1 screw, and bunch of plastic clips, but that's the thing that comes off. And we did jack up, take the wheel off, make sure you got it raised and safely supported, chock your wheels, just do everything safe, guys. And so let's actually crack open our fill bolt to make sure we can add fluid, and let's look for our level check. So with the wheel off, this thing's real easy to see. Driver's side, there's your level check plug. So that's the thing you're going to use to set your level after you do your drain and fill. Alright, and our fill plug that we're going to loosen is right here. And you can see it's clearly marked Honda ATF 3.1 or 3.X. And the 3.1 is the current iteration. I guess if they come out with an upgraded spec, it might be 3.2. But that's why it says 3.X. But so we'll get that check plug out. That way you always ensure that you're able to get new fluid in. You'd hate to drain your fluid and not be able to replace it. Here's my setup, guys. I'm just using this set of extensions and my 8mm hex to get in there, and we're just going to crack that open. So we're going to crack open the check plug, but not remove it at this point. And we cracked open the top one. I've got a U-joint on that 8mm hex and just coming out. I mean, if you got a small enough setup, you might be able to just get it from underneath without all this. Alright guys, so this is the drain plug, and we're just gonna crack that loose for the first time ever. Yeah, not over tightened at all. So this is it, first fluid change. There it is. And when I do that, the fluid doesn't look horribly dark. and really only an oil analysis would tell you the condition of it, but this is good because we'll get the break-in stuff out. Now, one thing I do not understand is why this drain plug is not magnetic. But anyway, so keep up with your fluid changes, and that's probably the best thing to do with this transmission. So we'll let this drain. We might even let the jack down a little bit, see if we can get a little bit more out of it. And then we do have 3 brand new plugs, because what they have is this, if you can see it, they have a like a rubber or silicone O-ring built in. And so here's that part number on the drain plug, and we'll go ahead and rip them open. They're all 3 identical, and some people choose to reuse them, but there's that rubber or silicone O-ring on there. So we will get that installed. We actually did drop the van down a little bit using the jack, and it actually didn't drain any more out, so I think we got a good drain. Alright guys, I'm just wiping a little bit away. You can see that's really not, I mean, it's dark, but it's not ultra dark. So brand new plug going in. Run that on in. Now there probably is torque spec, but again, this having a rubber O-ring, it's going to be you know, you don't want to over tighten, so again, you just snug it up. I mean, these came out pretty easy actually when I did it. I mean, that's it right there. Perfect. Alright guys, so for me and my setup, this filter is not reaching, or this funnel is not reaching all the way down in there. So I've got a separate, smaller funnel. And if you get this one down in your fill port, and then you use this one to go into that funnel, and just be careful when you're filling, because obviously this funnel is going to run faster than this one, and you could tend to overfill the smaller one. Alright, we got our setup with the double funnels, and we've got our drain plug, brand new drain plug installed. The original check plug is still in place, but we're going to replace that too. And so we did shake these already really well, and we'll crack them open. We did notice they were seeping just a little bit in the box, but nothing crazy. Nothing that caused any significant loss of fluid or, you know, cause us to send it back. The box was nice and dry. So we got this, and we'll clean funnels are a must. And there it is, that beautiful green stuff going in. Some kind of mystery formulation there. But so what we're going to do is put in 3.5 of those total, and then we'll begin our process of setting the level. Alright guys, so we started it up, and all we're going to do is cycle through the gears a couple times. We've actually already cycled through once, and so we're just doing that to get the fluid through all the circuits. And we did try to go up manually, but it's only letting us go up to M2. It won't let us go any higher than that actually, but that should be fine. And what I'm going to do is carefully, because we're still on the jack, I'm going to carefully just power brake it just a little bit. We're going to load up the, oh, and it's saying because the parking brake's on. But we'll go back to just drive, and that's just going to give us a little bit of, you know, just loading up that torque converter with fluid. Yep, I'm going to back off because it's trying to pull against the brakes right there. So R, We'll go back to neutral. We'll go to drive one more time, and then we're gonna pull that check plug. Back through reverse. And we're back to park. Now I'm carefully gonna let off the brake. Parking brake is still on, so we should be good. And let's pull this plug. All right, so I should have a glove on, but I got it loose from earlier. Not sure how much you can see. Actually, I'm gonna get this set up so I can, and I hope I don't drop this and make a, if I do, it'll make a good outtake for the end. Come to think of it, this is probably easier to do, possibly easier to do from under the vehicle, sorry. Now, I honestly don't think we're going to get a ton out, and so let's get that back in there, because I think that's a good level right there. What do you think, Charles? Or you want to let it run?
No, it's great.
But that's a good reason why it gives you an extra half a quart of fluid, so we can go back if you want and top a 100 mil. No, because that would actually overflow a lot worse.
Okay.
But they say let it run until it just trickles, and as you can see, it's... Whew, guys, so just breathing a sigh of relief after that. We got everything back in, but I'm gonna tell you, from my experience, the hardest part of this job is while the engine's running and that fluid's dribbling out, you're trying to get that check plug back in, and while you're doing that, you know it's getting hotter and hotter, and so it's pushing more and more fluid out, and you're thinking, I gotta get this in, and you're shaking and you can't get it in. So just be ready for that, because I wasn't. I don't know why it was so hard for me to get in, but anyway, we got it in. We actually did end up adding some more of that fluid that we had, because just based on our judgment, you know, we saw quite a bit come out after we intended to put that plug in. I just could not, with that oil on my hands and everything in the way, get it in. So yeah, it is definitely a doable job though, and go ahead and get the right stuff and give it a shot if you're, you know, comfortable working on cars. And so we're just gonna button up that bottom, put that splash guard back on, throw the wheel on. I do have a torque wrench, so we'll hit that and do it that way. So guys, here's the Amsoil website where you can, this is the preferred customer membership to get everything at wholesale and lots of other stuff here. But I did want to show you what Amsoil has to offer for the 2018 Honda van. So I do encourage you to go check this out. Let's see, 3.5. I'll have all these links down below in the first comment, and so there you got the Amsoil Signature Series. That's the best you can get, and you can see that retail price. But again, that preferred customer membership, add that to your cart and you're going to save about 25%. And so Amsoil filter currently unavailable. They're working on that. That's supply chain issues. But yeah, coolant. So you've got your different transmissions, and with the 9-speed and the 10-speed, there are no recommendations from Amsoil. So, but you can look, you can see all this capacity info, really good stuff. And there's no yeah, we get there, there's a lot of good stuff Amsoil makes, but They don't make anything for these, for the ZF transmission or for the Honda 10-speed, but maybe you want to use the motor oil or check out your other vehicles. So yeah, use my dealer number unless you're using the links below, which should already have it embedded. And I am Mike Troll, Amsoil dealer, 146-3115. Links are down below in the first comment. Guys, you know I like to share a verse of the day, so here's a few talking about going through trials. James 1 verse 2, consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And it goes on, but let's skip to here, verse 12. Blessed is a man who perseveres under trial, for once he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life which the Lord has promised to those who love him. And specifically, I wanted to look at this verse in chapter 5:11. We count those blessed who endured. You have heard of the endurance of Job and have seen the outcome of the Lord's dealings, that the Lord is full of compassion and is merciful. So at the end of the book of Job, after God had allowed Satan to test Job, and God had showed that Job was faithful. I mean, he wasn't perfect, but overall he was very faithful to the Lord, and the Lord actually restored things to him that he had lost. And so I'm in a place where I've had something going on now for several years, and it does look like the Lord is working it out to where it's gonna get a lot better, and just be able to have more family time and things like that. So praise the Lord, and he is faithful. The question is, will I be faithful? Will you be faithful to the Lord? Praise God for his grace is all I can say. Technically, the right way to do it is change the plug each time. I should